Hello everyone, this is Jotto and welcome to the second half of the Gamescon spoiler review show thing, plus a couple others. Because at Gamescom they revealed another 5, so I'll be going over those. Was it 5 or 6? Anyway, we'll get to that, and then there's also 2 extra batches. So, first things first, let's look at the 2 legendaries that were revealed, 2 days ago. Anyway, first things first, we have a Nubarak. 9 mana, 8/4 rogue legendary with Death Rattle. Return this minion to your hand and summon a 4/4 Nerubian. Anti-Big Game Hunter insurance. I like it. Now, the question is, how good is this thing? I'm not sure it's fantastic. This kind of reminds me of Sneed's. It is the best grindy legendary in the entire game. Which means if it gets stolen by Sylvanas or Mind Control, you're just screwed. But it's the best grindy card in the game, in my opinion, because it keeps going back to your hand and you just keep playing it. The problem is it costs 9 mana, and while it's very resilient to removal, it doesn't do anything when you play it, which means that you lose a massive amount of tempo, and they might just ignore it, and then you just lost 9 mana and it didn't protect you. So I'm going to say not very good. Aviana. Druid Legendary, another 9-drop, 9 mana 5/5, with your minions cost 1. Not 1 less. 1. That is the most ridiculous effect I think I've ever seen on a card. That effect is so broken. I'm going to say this card is absurd. The fact that it costs 9 and not 10 mana is actually such a big deal. Because on turn 10 you can play this and then Kel'Thuzad, that's a fair combo. Or just this plus Ancient Allure, it's a 5/5, doesn't die to Big Game Hunter, which is important, it sticks around. It's basically a Thorazan, but on steroids. If you get this with Wild Growth, it's insane. If you get it with a Thorazan, then it becomes 8 mana and you can play it on turn 10 with 2 other dudes. You already have the draw power in Ancient Allure to make sure you have tons of minions if you're playing Ramp Druid. You have Innervate with Aviana, means you get to play 3 guys after it. There's actually turns where you can play 30 mana in one turn. You can go Aviana, Kel'Thuzad, double Ancient of War, or something stupid like that with 1 Innervate. And if you're playing Super Ramp Druid, I'm not talking about combo, I'm talking about Ramp Druid. If you're playing Ramp Druid, this is incredibly good. In fact, Ramp Druid has got a lot of tools in this set already. And Aviana is the big legendary they needed at the end that just provides some really good swing turns. Love Aviana, I think it's very, very powerful. So, moving up, we have the Grand Crusader, a 6 mana, 5/5 neutral epic with Battlecry. Add a random Paladin card to your hand. Actually, there's a couple of these which add Paladin cards or Silverhand recruits, even though they're neutral. But anyway, so it's close to an Azure Drake, kind of, as a 6 mana 5/5 that draws a card. 6 mana 5/5 is fine. Drawing a card, let's see, it's slightly weaker than drawing a card. It's more like Web Spinner, because there's a lot of bad Paladin cards. You can get really lucky with this, really unlucky. So, we're going to say it's a card. It's worth slightly less overall, though, because there's some really bad Paladin cards like the Secrets. So, I'm going to say it's okay, but not very good. I think this is on par with the, Master Jouster? Let's see if I can find that card. Yeah, the Master Jouster, maybe a bit weaker Master Jouster, actually, and I didn't think that was too powerful. It does draw cards, which is nice. The problem is that 6-drops are astonishingly powerful. Like, Sylvanas and Thorazan have effects far more powerful than simply draw a card, so I'm going to say it's not very good. Yeah. Confuse. 2 mana, priest, epic, spell, swap the attack and health of all minions. Okay, mass mad scientist. Now, this provides some strange combos, but Inner Fire could just do that anyway. I'm going to say this card isn't very good, and the reason for it is because reversing switch is sometimes good, and the reason for that is because you get to choose which minion you want to swap. Whereas Confuse is only really good in a situation where you're swapping something with low attack, high health, and things like that. And yeah, I don't know. Not being able to pick what gets swapped is a bit of a detriment, so I'm going to say no. Okay, on to the Gamescom stuff. 6 cards were revealed, not 5. And we have, first things first, the Warhorse Trainer, 3 mana, 2/4, Paladin common. Your silver hand recruits have +1 attack. This is a persistent effect. That is a mini Quartermaster. It's not a Quartermaster. It's difficult to remove. Might be played in Paladin because they have issues with 3-drops. They only have Muster right now. So I'm going to say it might see some play. In Arena, I think it's very good. Not sure exactly how good, but I think it's quite good. In Constructed, they may need an extra 3-drop. I guess Aldor is technically a 3-drop, but in practice it's not. So maybe as a one-off. Yeah, maybe as a one-off in Constructed. I'm not sure, but I think maybe as a one-off. Flash Heal, 1 mana Priest common spell. Restore 5 life. These heal effects are getting really pushed. Compare that to Healing Touch. That's not even close. Third of the mana for slightly less. I'm going to say this will probably see some play. It's worse than Light of the Naru, I think. Is it? I don't know. It'll definitely see some play because you can use it. You can use it instead of Circle of Healing with Ninja Blade Master on turn 4. You can use it with Orkanai for a 5 damage burst. I'm going to say this might see some play. I think Light of the Naru surprised me. It did see some play. I still don't think that card is amazing, but I think it's good enough to see play. And I think Flash Heal is the same. And part of the reason why Light of the Naru is so good is because of Orkanai. Orkanai Soul Priest. And I'm going to say Flash Heal has similar playability because of it. Now, the question is, do you want the 5 heal more than the Light Warden? I'm going to say no, but we'll have to see. Living Roots, 1 mana Druid common spell. Interesting. I don't think they have a 1-drop really. I guess they have Claw. Choose 1. Deal 2 damage or summon 2 1/1 saplings. Wow, I like this. This is really good in my opinion. Now, we know from Muster for Battle that 3 1/1s is often better than a 3/3 because yes, they can ping it off with the hero power, but it takes multiple turns. 2 1/1s are definitely better than a 2/1. We know this from Harvest Golem and being compared to Imp Gang Boss, where Imp Gang Boss generally leaves behind 2 1/1s, whereas Harvest Golem leaves behind a 2/1. So we know from that 2 1/1s is better than 2/1, which means that if you're playing an aggressive Druid deck, this is by default a better 1-drop than probably most of the ones you have access to. So I'm going to say it's good just on that front. Then you've got the thing where you can choose to deal 2 damage as a secondary mode, which makes it much better in the late game, because you can go to the face with it if you need to for a little bit of extra burn. So that's a bit of extra versatility on a 1-drop, which is very nice. Also, 2 1/1s work with combo later in the game. It might make Token Druid much better. It's very good with Vile Teacher that makes 3 1/1s for 1 mana. Or you can deal 2 damage to something and summon a 1/1 for 1 mana. So it's very, very good for that. 1 mana spells are generally very, very dangerous when it comes to Violet Teacher synergies and things like that. I think this is a very good card. I think Druid has been getting some very, very good stuff recently, and I'm really liking Living Roots. I may actually make a token deck from this because I think it's a very, very powerful card. Not sure exactly how strong. I think it will see play. Probably in Token Druid. I doubt it'll see play in anything else because Wrath is just better for removal. So yeah, probably some sort of aggressive Druid deck will play Living Roots. It's also a decent one. It's also a decent 1-drop to stop aggro decks now I think about it. They already have Zombie Chow. Is Zombie Chow better than this for 1 mana? Arguably. I think it is. The thing about Living Roots is you can also just use it to straight up kill the Flame Imp. So... I'm going to say Zombie Chow is going to probably see more play than this in the slower Druid decks, but in the faster Druid decks I like Living Roots. Fist of Jaraxxus. 4 mana Warlock spell that's a rare. Whenever you play or discard this, that's interesting. Deal 4 damage to a random enemy. Well, you just had to go and ruin it in the last clause there. Alright, 4 damage. That's the most expensive flame cannon I've ever seen. You can also hit the face, which makes it way worse. So the effect is terrible. 4 damage is awful to a random enemy because it's just a worse flame cannon. And flame cannon is like, okay, at 2 mana. Now the main thing is if you discard it, you get it for free. Sure. I'm going to say this won't see play. I don't like this at all. I think the effect is too weak. I think if you cast it and you could choose what it hit, I think that'd be good. because then it's just 4 mana, deal 4 damage, and if you discard it, it does it randomly. I think that would be good. But if it's random when you cast it as well, I'm going to say this isn't good. Charged Hammer, Shaman Weapon, Epic, 4 mana, 2/4. That durability. Death Rattle, your hero power becomes deal 2 damage, so it's basically Shadow Form. Or I think it's called Jolt, I think is the hero power. Interesting. Now, what this basically does is it means from turn 4 onwards, you get the hero power, basically, because Charged Hammer will effectively deal 2 damage every turn anyway. So, what is this good in? I'm going to say Inspired decks will like this. Not the ones that are running the totem thing, though. Maybe heavy aggro, but then they already have a Gluttony on weapons. Where does this see play? Inspired decks, I guess. But then they won't be running Thunder Bluff because that only benefits totems. I'm going to say that this is a very versatile card. I think it's a potentially powerful one. I don't like it though because I don't really see where it fits. I think this is one of those cards I have to come back later on in the set when we have more information on the Inspire cards to know what kind of Inspire shell that Shaman could possibly fit into. Because currently when it comes to Inspire stuff, we just kind of have totems, which means that you don't replace your hero power. The replacing hero power is powerful, but the totems with the Inspire stuff is better. So I'm not sure. Maybe it'll see playing Control Shaman. That's a thing. Yeah, maybe. They don't play Doomhammer anyway. Okay, maybe in that. I think it's powerful enough to see some play somewhere, but we'll have to see when the set gets spoiled. Yeah, I'll leave my final evaluation for this when we do the set review, because I need to see the rest of the set before I know how powerful this is. Anyway, Alexstrasza's Champion, 2 mana, 2/3, Warrior, Rare, Battlecry. If you're holding a dragon, it's a 3/3 with charge! Okay, I was not expecting the return of that mechanic from BRM. Now, the if you're holding a dragon clause was okay in BRM. The cards it was on were powerful, there just weren't enough good dragons, and I think this is where this is going to full prey again. Now, this is a very good aggressive card. The problem is that there probably won't be an aggressive deck for dragons for quite some time. Control Warrior may run it. It is 3. The problem with that is you have Fire War Axe. I'm going to say this card is powerful if you get the trigger, but not if you don't. Now, that may seem a bit stupid because all of the if you're holding a dragon cards are powerful if you get the trigger. The thing is that the lower cost, basically the ones that are lower cost, you have less of a chance of having a dragon in your hand, which means that they become less powerful with the effect. So, for instance, the Blackwing card, the Technician, is less likely to go off than the Corruptor. And that's one of the reasons why Corruptor saw more play. Simply because you're more likely to have the trigger, which means that it's less of a consistency loss. And I'm going to say the same logic applies here. So you're going to be playing this later in the game most of the time, not in an aggressive deck. I'm going to say not in a control deck either, because you have Fire War Axe. I'm going to say this card isn't bad. I think it's just not good enough for Constructed. Now, in Arena, you can rely on a 2 mana 2/3, and if you get the bonus, that's cool. But in Constructed, I'm going to say it's not very good. So anyway, that's all the cards we have spoiled for this particular episode. We do have this really cool voting thing, which actually, both of these look amazing. So I'm hoping they both get revealed. I don't know if you can reveal both of these, maybe that's just legendaries. But anyway, I'm pretty happy with how a lot of the designs are going with these cards. In the set so far, I think Aviana is the ultimate powerhouse out of the ones we looked at today. Although there's some cool ones. I mean, Warhouse Trainer might see a little bit of play, Charged Hammer might see a bit of play, Living Roots I really like, Flash Heal maybe. So there's some play to a lot of these cards, and I think BRM was too low on the power level scale. I think that this set's going to have some impact. But what I like about the set so far is that the design itself is better than GVG, which means that if the set does have a large impact on the metagame, it's going to be in a positive way as opposed to a negative way. So, yeah, I quite like the way this is looking currently. But anyway, thank you for watching this particular spoiler show. If you like the content, please subscribe. If you have any feedback or just want to yell at me with your opinions, put it in the comment section below. But as now, this has been Jotto, signing off.